Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be doing Brittany's nails, and of course we're going to be doing some Halloween designs. So first we're going to be prepping her natural nails. She did go ahead and remove her set so that we can start fresh. So what I'm doing here is taking the small mandrel bit from Kiara Sky along with my Efile, and I am going to be using that at a speed of 4,000 RPMs for prep. I never go above that unless I am buffing off dead skin using a diamond bit. So 4,000 RPMs, very light amount of pressure when I'm doing this, and I'm gently pushing her cuticle back very lightly. She has been wanting me to stay clear from her cuticles, and so that's exactly what I've been doing, but I still need to expose her natural nail a little bit more so that that acrylic stays on there nicely. So again, just very light amount of pressure, 4,000 RPMs, and gently pushing back that cuticle. Next, still at 4,000 RPMs, I'm going to be taking this tiny little diamond bit from Profile's Backstage, and I'm going to be going in around that cuticle area. Again, we're not nipping or cutting anything off. I'm simply just prepping her natural nail for the acrylic application. The goal is to remove as much shine, buff off any dead skin. So that's exactly pretty much what I'm trying to do here. And again, we're going to leave those cuticles alone so that they do not irritate her. Next, I'm going to be applying these tips from Not Polished. They are the universal tips, so they are pre-sculpted in a stiletto shape. But if you trim them a little bit, they can turn into coffin, and then if you trim them a little bit more, they are tapered square. And I absolutely love using these tips for her now since she does like stiletto. We're just making our life a little bit easier. It makes the process go a lot quicker if you're using pre-shaped tips. So next, I'm just going to be taking the Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, and we're just going to be filing the sides, making sure that they are nice and flush to her side walls of her natural nails. You want to make sure that they fit perfectly. Sometimes clients will be in between sizes, and so you want to make sure you either file it before you apply it, or you will file it once it is already on the nails. I'm going to be taking my small mandrel bit once again. I have it still at 4,000 RPMs. I'm just going to be blending in that tip to her natural nail. And then I'm taking a lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe, and we're going to be cleansing that entire natural nail, removing any excess dust, and also dehydrating her nail. I use that in place of a dehydrator, but you can also use a dehydrator if you please. Next, I'm going to be taking the acrylic primer from Kiara Sky. It is nice and gel-like. You do not have to cure this in the light, so do note that. I'm just going to be applying a thin layer on her entire natural nail, and I'm just going to be stopping right there where her natural nail ends. There's no need to apply that on the tip. Now for our acrylic application, I'm going to be using Nude Me from Not Polished. It is one of my favorite nudes for light skin. It looks so good on Brittany. I feel like it matches a little too well sometimes, but it just looks so good. So we're going to be using that as our base, and then we're going to be doing nail art on top. For my monomer, I am using Kiara Sky. If you are new to my channel, she did develop a henna allergy, or so we think. And I little by little started kind of getting rid of my henna products, and I switched them over to Kiara Sky products, and that has done so much wonders. So that's why I use my primer for her from Kiara Sky and my monomer as well. She hasn't had any breakouts or any itchiness or anything like that. So if you are experiencing any type of irritation, definitely go see a doctor. But there's always a chance that it may be henna. That is the most common allergic reaction that people that get their nails done frequently or nail techs get. So that's always a good thing to kind of rule out first. I'm going to go in with a medium-sized bead, and we're just going to start applying the acrylic where the tip meets her natural nail, and then simply patting that into place. I want to keep all that acrylic on there, so I'm not doing any blending, tugging, or anything like that until I actually start building up that apex and moving towards that cuticle. As you can see here, that is pretty much when I start blending it in whenever I want a nice seamless application. I'm going to be taking another medium bead of acrylic. We do want to build up her nails nicely because they are long. And I'm just going to push it into place. I'm holding the finger in a downward position. I'm grabbing a little bit more monomer if I feel like it's drying a little too quick for me. And then I'm pretty much just building that out to the area that I want it to go, and then I go ahead and blend. But I try to make my cuticle application or the thickness of it first before I blend anything out. And here I'm kind of just scraping off a little bit of acrylic that I accidentally got a little too deep into her cuticle area. So I wanted to make sure that I fully removed that. And I just take the tip of my brush and kind of scrape at it until it is all the way removed. We're going to be repeating that process. Again, medium-sized bead, working that product nicely, creating that thickness that we want as our base thickness. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pull it down towards the tip. And then pretty much just cleaning up those sides to make sure that I'm not making the nail super bulky on the shape and I don't have to overly file at the end. Now once everything is done, it should make a nice clicking sound. That is a really good indicator that the nails are fully dry and you are good to go and file. Sometimes if you don't check that clicking sound and you go directly into file the nail, you'll notice that it's a little bit on the gummy side, and that is a good indicator that it is not. And also if you tap the surface and it kind of just doesn't make a clicking sound, that is also an indicator that it is not dry. But I'm going to be going in with my Tommy Taylor peel and stick file, and we're just going to file the sides, and then I'm going to actually file the surface of the nail with my hand file as well. I've been loving doing that, especially on long nails. So I'm going to be going in on the sides first, and then I go over top of the entire surface. I am pretty much avoiding the cuticle area because that is one of the areas that I am not comfortable hand filing with. Since my hand file is very wide, I just feel like there's such a huge chance that I cut them or I like scrape at their skin and cause them discomfort. So I'd rather just steer clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that on the rest of the nails, and then I'm gonna be fixing that cuticle area with my Efile. Now with my Efile at 8,000 RPMs and a 5-in-1 bit, I'm going to be sealing her cuticle. So I'm just going to be blending in that acrylic to her natural nail. This is important, otherwise it can cause lifting. So you want to make sure that you make it nice and flush. It should look as if the nail is naturally growing out versus the acrylic just laying on top of the natural nail. So that should definitely be a good indicator. And I went ahead and prepped her nails for nail art application. I forgot to include that, but I just buffed the nail. And then we cleansed with the lint-free wipe and a little bit of Young Nail Swipe. Now going directly into our nail art application, I am going to be recreating another nail artist design. So I will leave that down below. But we are going to be doing Frenchies in black on the pinky finger. And I believe the index finger as well. So we're doing that using a black gel polish and the long liner from Veeda Bella. I essentially just do the smile line and then I infill the rest of the nail very easily with my brush. And then we're going to be curing that in the light for a full 60 seconds. If you have a light that cures for 90 seconds, definitely do that option instead. I'm going to be going in with white gel polish on the middle finger, and that's going to be our white Frenchie nail. Same process, do the smile line and then infill the rest of that. And since these are already cured, I went ahead and used the white gel polish directly on that. We're going to be doing like a mummy wrapped up type of vibe on the pinky, so we're gonna be doing that with white, and I'm pretty much just doing thick lines kind of crisscrossed on each other, and then we're gonna be adding in the details afterwards. You can do these as thin as you want, as thick as you want, as close together or far apart. It's nice when you kind of just add little different bits and pieces in there. It does not have to be perfect, so definitely do not overthink this type of design. And again, just white gel paint and that long liner from Veeda Bella. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and cure that in the light for full 60 seconds. You want to make sure with very pigmented gels, you cure for a full 60 seconds. And you are applying it on there nice and thin.
Un corazón destruido.
And since I'm already using white and I don't feel like cleaning my brush like every single time, I just go ahead and do all the colors at once that are the same if possible. So we're going to be doing little ghosts on the index finger, and I'm pretty much just doing one on one side, one on the other side, and I start with like a big blob and then I kind of just make it nice and skinny at the end. And then we're going to be adding little starbursts and dots on that nail as well. I think I didn't show that just because I was like overly crossing my hand, so it kind of got a little bit blurry. Now coming back to the pinky nail, we're going to be adding some shading and some dimension to those lines. So I'm taking jelly polish from Profiles Backstage. I got the black one and the white one and I mixed it together to get this nice dark gray. And then I'm pretty much just going to be outlining that, adding shading wherever I kind of feel like it would look good. I tried to look at the picture, but sometimes I get a little bit distracted and I just kind of do my thing based off of my memory. So that's essentially what I'm doing here. Next, I'm going to be taking some black as well, and we're going to be adding that. I did go ahead and cure in the light, so do note that. We're just going to be adding more depth into it alongside that shading. And then we're going to be doing our little guy on the middle finger. I'm starting off with the eyes. Then I do the eyebrows, the nose, and the mouth as well, curing all the black in the light for full 60 seconds.
El río fluye, nunca solo está, no solo está. El río fluye, nunca solo está, no solo está.
Now for the ring finger, we're going to be doing like brain, guts, intestines, whatever you want to consider it. If you notice the photo, you will note that mine did not come out as good, and that is okay. It goes to show that no matter how much practice you get, sometimes you just need a little bit more practice. So we're going to be using a pink flesh tone like color as her Frenchie. and then curing that in the light. Next, I'm taking this red gel liner from Not Polish, and I'm going to be using same brush that I've been using pretty much throughout the entire process. And then we're gonna outline the smile line, and here comes the fun part, and the part that I did not execute properly, but we're pretty much gonna be doing like little squiggly lines, creating intestines or whatever you want to call it. It just didn't function the way that I envisioned it. But again, that all just takes practice, and this isn't one of the designs that I've ever really done before. And so here's what it's looking like. I just pretty much infilled the rest of that French design with it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think or what I should have done differently. But I'm definitely going to be trying it again because it should not have been this hard to do. I swear, and I've mentioned this before to my coworkers, that the most simple designs for whatever reason sometimes are the hardest to me, because this should not have given me that much trouble. And I apologize for my hand kind of covering the screen as well. It's just, I was probably frustrated in this moment, so that's just kind of how it went. Once we're done, we're going to go ahead and cure that in the light for a full 60 seconds. And then I'm going to be taking my stain resistant top coat from Young Nails, and we're going to be applying that to protect her nails from any stainage. But that pretty much concludes today's video. Let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a ton, and I will see you guys next time.